Okay, but we're going to keep going because I didn't even get close to getting through the records I've been listening to. And so I wanted to draw attention to this German band, Out of Focus. Not Too Late is the name of this band. This is a late 70s um, horn-driven progressive rock band from Germany. No, not like Chicago. German, but with horns and good musicians. This is a posthumous album in that this one, called Not Too Late, it was recorded when they were still together but never released until... This was recorded in 1974, and it was not released until 1999. And I have some of their other releases on digitally on the computer, but this is the only vinyl. Out of Focus. If you happen to see this, don't get it mixed up with Focus and get it. In my last video, not the part one, but the one before that, where 5 UUs are playing in the background. Oh, love that band. This is the only vinyl I have by them. I've got a couple CDs. Box, Bell, Marduk, Tiamat. Bell, Marduk, and Tiamat. That refers to something. Someone tell me what it refers to. Is it something out of literature? This band is the bomb. Fatback Funk said he heard a little Zappa in here, and I'd say that's good ears. Once you hear them, they definitely go more into that rock and opposition type of sound. They come in there a lot more like Henry Cow or Zamla Mama's Mana or Stormy Six. But yeah, all those bands do pay homage to Zappa in some form of him, he being the Godfather, which ain't no doubt about. This record is just excellent, and there's a little book in here. Well, have to look at that. There's a book in here. It's probably the story. American band, 1986, 5 UUs. Excellent. I was listening to this because this is something that always sounds good to me and always sounds fresh. Wire's album 154. This goes all the way back to 79. And whenever I play this, no matter what, it always sounds new to me. This record, I think, is just one of the most fantastic post-punk albums of all time. Throwing around some heavy duties, but I'm standing by them. Wire's 154 is definitely one of the best post-punk records I've ever heard, for my taste. And I highly recommend if no one's heard this. I believe this album was very groundbreaking and paved the way for a whole lot of folks, all the way from people like the Pixies through to Radiohead, through to you name it. You name it! Okay, let's get back into some noise. A few years ago, when the first time I saw Lightning Bolt, they had a merge table set up of mostly records on the Load record and some other associated stuff. And that's where I picked up this Yellow Swans LP. And Yellow Swans are no longer. It was a live electronics duo. I believe they're from the U.S. And I just took a chance on this. Didn't know anything about them at the time. Just judging by the quality of what I was experiencing with Lightning Bolt, they were just a mind fuck. Okay, I'll just use that word. And just thinking, stuff associated with that is going to be in the same realm somehow. And this definitely is. This is, again, texture electronics, where things are, it's not as screechy as Merzbow can be at times, but it gets there at times, but it's more like, it's like audio fabric. It's the best I can describe. It's audio fabric. Fascinating to listen to. It's on white vinyl too. Didn't know it when I bought it. Just like, Bloodshot. Fascinating listening. Yellow Swans. I'd like to get some more of their stuff. This one is Psychic Secession. Yeah. Infinite Groove, my brother. Yeah, pick up on some Yellow Swans. just for one person that just came to mind who I know I'd been talking to about this stuff. Pulled this out, really had completely forgotten what it would sound like. It's by Peter Principle, who was in the band Tuxedo Moon. And this is on the Cram Disc label. They had this series called Made to Measure. I think there's about 40 albums in the series. I've only got a few. This is another series I'd love to get. I would be making it up to try to tell you what the series is about. All I can tell you is that all the records I've heard in this series are recordings that appear to be about pushing boundaries, the musicians and artists involved trying to, if not break new ground, just really present some fresh ideas. And this sounds nothing like Tuxedo Moon's music. It's really very good. Very little song going here. Compositions, though, in sound. Trying to look here and see if I get any clue as to what's being used. Well, it does list that these are home recordings of electric and acoustic guitars, bass, drums, other percussion, rhythm machines, organ, moog, and voice. So yeah, just really a very, very I like that word, singular, or in other words, you listen to this and it doesn't make you think, oh, that sounds like. That's what I mean by when I say singular. I pulled this, I've had it for a while, it's been raved about, and that's why I bought it when I got it used at a nice price. Neutral Milk Hotel. Jeff Mangum's album. Now, I get why this was really blowing people's heads, you know. I do. I'm more interested in the sound than the words. You know, I did listen to the words, what he's singing about. You know, it's just inconsequential to me, you know, just to really, on the lesson, this most recent listen to this, it wasn't the words, it was the weirdness of how he was setting up the sound of each song. And each, you know, he's like strumming and singing on every song pretty much, but there's all these other things going on, like whistles and fans and God knows what else is going on. So this is pretty cool. Pretty neat sound. Neutral Milk Hotel. I popped this on for Jeff last night. He thought it was the other Michelangelo. There's a Michelangelo record that is really collectible. This is not the one, although this is actually good. It's a band that's led by this girl who plays auto harp. It's nice. You know, the cover, I can imagine the band kind of winching and saying, oh, who got us to do that cover? But the record is good. There's several instrumentals on here where it features her on the auto harp, which is pretty cool. It's on Columbia. This is probably about 1970, maybe. Doesn't say. This is good. People were talking about it after Buddy Bopper got given a copy of it, you know, import, original copy with the original artwork, Atomic Rooster, Death Walks Behind You. I have the U.S. version. This rocks. This is just, it's the coolest. Vincent Crane on keyboards, originally with Crazy World of Arthur Brown. So I had to pull it, you know. I popped it on when Jeff was over last night. Death Walks Behind You, Atomic Rooster. Killer stuff, man. You know, like I say, listening to music and sharing it with you all is just that much more enhanced. Here's another perfect example. There's a new fellow in the community. I can't quite tween something is wave or something like that. But he was showing his A to Z, and he showed Astor Piazzolla. This one in particular, which caught my attention. So, oh, yeah, it's all right. You know, I love it. I love everyone. I love it finding kindred people who are interested in music that's a bit off the beaten path, especially, and not so much this, but also listening to a wide spectrum of music. I love that. And this is just killer. Tango, playing the bandoneon, accordion. He was the master. Now, I've got a couple CDs of his that I actually like even better than this. This is awesome. Just excellent. Astor Piazzolla, 0 Hour. Tango 0 Hour. Getting down to the last two things I'll show. This guy is just a modern day wizard of hardcore electronics. John Wiese. He has a band called Sissy Spacek, and saw him perform a couple of years ago. Got to meet him and hang out afterwards. This guy's brilliant. And let me catch the name of this. This album is so good. And this is really harsh, cool, harsh electronics. Soft punk. This album is not soft. This album is dope. John Wiese. W-I-E-S-E. John Wiese. He was showing me his personally designed software that he uses to create some of the stuff. This album is pretty recent, and this is just truly something I want to highly recommend for you folks that are interested in getting into noise. This was recorded in California from 2002 to 2005 and released in 2006 on Troubleman Limited. John Wiese. Yeah, I'll give this one a double thumbs up. Amazing, very creative, and not boring and not repetitive. You know, it's like say for example you're not a listener to this stuff and you're listening to me talk about this. This is noise, this is power electronics. Sounds like somebody, you know, winding up drills and stuff, among other things. That could get monotonous after a while. It's amazing the permutations and the parameters that can be studied and reached and played with pure sound. I'm fascinated by it. The last thing I'll show was something I was talking to Jeff about last night. We didn't play it, I listened to it a little bit today, is Rama Seeds. And this is one that I think I'll recommend to Prague buyers. Mr. Fartboy in particular, thinking of you, my bro. Love seeing you and your daughter today. That was the best, man. Like I said, this is real life. I'm loving this. The vinyl community is real life, and music is such wonderful food for it. You know what I'm saying? We could be on here dissing and cussing each other like a lot of folks are doing on here, which it's just a shame how often we as people just resort to the lowest common denominator for whatever reason, you know, just hating on ourselves and hating on each other. And believe me, you know, I am not fooled by anybody that throws their weight around anywhere in life, hurting people and bullying people. I know, because I work with you, and if I haven't worked with you, I'd love to work with you. I know you're hurting inside, and that's why you're hurting other people. You know, bullies don't, and hard people don't fool me at all. Back to the music, because again, this is the beauty of music, how it's just, it's like a book of life. For me, it's been one of the main ways of learning about life within all the other learning that I have and continue to do and all the traveling I do. But before I could travel as a kid, you know, music was a window to the world, much better than television in my opinion. And Ramses, I'm going on, and I'm not telling you about this record. The guys in 10cc are behind this album. And this is a concept. This is a reissue because the original folds out really beautifully, and you see this big trail of the rocket ship. You know, it's like a 3-panel fold out. Anybody got one? You want to show it, please? I'd love to. You know, I had a friend back in the day, Wes, who had a copy. Vertigo spaceship. Love that Vertigo. This is in parts like you want to skip over parts where it's like it gets a little heavy-handed. With choirs and stuff, but when they go spacey, they go real spacey, like super productions. Like, we're in space now, you know. It's like we're in the capsule and Hal's about to speak. It's great recording. So that's what I've been listening to in the last. I'd say this pile represents things that have come on and off the turntable over the last 7 to 10 days. I've listened to a lot of other stuff because I bought a lot, and when I buy, I like to listen. And the other thing that I've been popping on is Slow Dive. I love Slow Dive, and this it sounds better on vinyl. I'm just, it's the best. All right, folks, peace out. And as Jeff Recordman has coined the phrase, and it's a great phrase, keep the vinyl spinning, y'all. All right.